want to step back a little bit and not do as much analysis and annotating that I normally do for Jane Austen books, because it's been a lot. It hasn't been bad. It's just like Leo, for example, he's been going back and forth to the vet for dental issues, and he has now had all of his teeth removed. So he should be on the road to recovery now, but there's been just a lot with that. And also for the month of April, I wind up working 21 days with no break, which was a lot. And I partly did it because I'm gonna be out of town for the next few weekends, so like it kind of evens out, but like when I was in the trenches, it didn't really feel that way. So all of that to say is that I am a little tired, and I just want to like go with the flow with the book. Don't worry about themes, don't worry about annotating much. I'll probably maybe try to annotate some, but all to say I want this to be a little bit more laxed than normal. I'm one chapter into Persuasion at this moment, and this is also a reread. Oh my gosh. This is also a reread. Speech therapy doesn't work. This is also a reread like Emma was, and so I think that's also part of the reason why I don't really want to deal with annotating. I'm kind of glad that it's a shorter book, to be honest, even though after this is Banfield's Park, which is like pretty long, but that's where I am, and hopefully ignore like the lamp back there that looks like the sun itself. But Persuasion, I am about halfway through. I got back from Mobile today, and overall I feel like it's a very easy read. There's been a couple of times that I've been able to do without the audiobook, which is pretty good for me. Maybe I'm just doing better at reading Jane Austen. It could be that too. The only thing that's difficult is that there's like so many characters and they're all connected somehow, and then sometimes I lose track with how they're connected. So like I feel like this book is one that I need a character map with more than like some of the others that I've read so far. And I don't think this is gonna be like a top tier favorite. I'm thinking it's gonna be kind of more mid for me, but I still like it, you know? Like there are no bad Jane Austen books from what I understand. And like I was also thinking about like the Persuasion film that came out in like 2022 on Netflix that like everyone hates, and it's valid. And I was like, from what I understand, like not a lot of people have like a favorite Persuasion film. Like I think there's been like 3 notable adaptations or so, and there hasn't been like an Emma, you know, with Persuasion where it's like, oh, this one's really good, or like a Pride and Prejudice kind of moment where it's like, okay, you really love the BBC version, or you really love like the one with Keira Knightley. Like you don't have that with Persuasion from what I can tell. And I was thinking like, I feel like I really want to see a movie of Persuasion that's like by Sofia Coppola. I realize that Anne is not probably like her kind of protagonist, but I feel like, oh my gosh, she could do such a good job with it, because like she has like such a way of being like visually emotional, if that makes sense, with a lot of her films. And always, you know, it's about like young women, and I know that Anne isn't like young in this world, but like young to us in like this day and age. I think she's in like, you know, her later 20s, and it's also like it has like a melancholiness to it, but then there's like, from what I understand, like some sweetness at the end and stuff. So I just feel like I would love to see Sofia Coppola do Persuasion. This is like my third cup of Earl tea today, Earl Grey tea, which like, that's a commitment. And you know, I like other teas, it's just like I've been in a very Earl Grey kind of mood, and I'm truly committing to it. Before I talk about Persuasion, I have to hold up the book like every time, give like a explanation to the bookshelf, because there's this one and then I have another one on the other side that they're matching, but like probably never gonna film on the other side because it's to my bathroom, and at least this way it's like it's just my bedroom, and there's a painting on the floor that I did that I want to like redo, because I've enjoyed like the abstract art of it, but I'm ready for something different. Anyways, so yeah, just like I have no structure, there's nothing, like I'm not like it's by genre, it's by author. There literally I just shove a book in, except this shelf, which is like my to read shelf, except this, which I only have there because it helps bulk up the space. Just want to like mention that. I thought that would be an interesting thing to say. But anyways, the purpose that we're here today is obviously Persuasion. So I think my like midway through thought of this being kind of mid for me was correct. Like I do want to be like not like other girls and be like, oh my god, this is the best one, but like I am like other girls. It's like I actually didn't like it that much. Like it's not bad because it's Jane Austen, it can't really be bad, but like it just didn't hit like some of the other ones have. And I think so, I know I'm only halfway through, but I'm kind of like, maybe I truly am just a Pride and Prejudice girl, and like I simply am that. It is the most basic of them all, and like maybe that's just simply who I am. And Leo's gonna try to sit on me. As I noted, like I didn't do a lot of like tabbing or trying to figure out themes in this one, which was kind of refreshing. And I did some annotating, but like not a ton, so I'm not gonna have like a lot of like deep thoughts probably. But I do think that like I like Wentworth as like a love interest compared to some of the other love interests. I feel like he's a lot more someone that a modern audience might enjoy, just because it's like he's very attentive to Anne when he's not being a dick, if that makes sense. Like you can tell that there's times where he's just being like super petty, really. Like his whole like, oh, I'm just gonna like date Louisa even though I don't really want to be like with her just to like make Anne jealous. Like he kind of does that, and that's a petty move. And like, but at the same time there's like that one scene where like Anne is like clearly really tired from walking, but like she's not gonna say, oh, I would like to take the carriage ride back. And Wentworth like notices that like she is the one who probably needs the carriage, and like offers it to her instead of like Louisa or her sister or Mary. Like like, that was a nice moment. I was like, that was good, that was good. So it's like, I think he has like a nice like redemption arc, and like he actually is a man that like says his feelings, and that's nice to see every once in a while. So I don't know, I just feel like out of the love interest that I have seen so far, like he's one that a lot of modern audiences could enjoy. I had mixed feelings about Charles, who is Anne. Okay, wait, it's Anne, and then Mary is her youngest sister, and she married a dude named Charles. I had mixed feelings about Charles because like sometimes I was like, he's just a clueless ally, and I love that for him, but also sometimes like he said things that I was just like, dude, why? So like let me see if I can find the passage, because I think it was like one of the first things that I annotated. So their kid is like sick, injured, whatnot. And he said, the child must be kept in bed and amused as quietly as possible, but what is there for a father to do? This is quite a female cause, and it would be highly absurd in him who would be of no use at home. Like, dude, your kid is sick, like just help your child. It's like, it doesn't matter if it's like a man's job or not, like just help out. But I get it, it's the 1800s, like what are you gonna do? What do you want from him? But anyways, like I thought out of all of the characters, like that's the one that I was kind of like, you know what, I kind of like this one. I mean, aside from that moment, but like I just kind of like that he was always like kind of helping Anne in ways that like he didn't even realize that he was doing, like especially like at the very end where he's like walking Anne back, and then he's like, oh, Wentworth, you're here, want to take Anne home instead of me? Like that would actually be better because like I want to do something else. And he had no idea that he was being such an ally in that moment, but he was. There's something to say about like a man who stands by his woman despite the fact that she's being absurd 24/7. Maybe that's just like something that I'm into, and maybe that's something I need in life. The things that I wish were different, and why I thought it was kind of mid, was that I wish that we met Anne as her younger self, and we could have seen that whole like actual persuasion conversation between her and Lady Russell. Like I wish that we had a glimpse into that, like as like a flashback or something maybe, just because I'm like, I want to see how Anne has like changed in the past 8.5 years, I think is what it was. Like I just want to know how her character has developed from then. And I don't know, I just feel like that would be a really nice thing to be able to have included. The other thing is that there is a lot of pining, and like I do love a good pine, like don't get me wrong, but it's just like it went on for super long, and you just kind of get to a point where it's like, can you guys just talk to each other? I do like Anne also as a protagonist, to be fair. Like she said some things that I was like, mood, me too. And let me go and try to find those at this moment, hold on. It required a long application of solitude and reflection to recover her. And like that was after basically she just had a like long conversation or something. And I'm like, me too. I also need to recover after like I interact with a single person in one day. But I think I'm pretty much gonna end it there. I will be back with Mansfield Park, and hopefully it's not a drag like what I'm afraid it might be, so. But also, do you ever have like those days where you're kind of having like a rest day and it's nice, but you realize that you haven't spoken words out loud the whole day other than like when you go to the store, and you're kind of like, wow, all I did was think all day.